I didn't know anything at all about hypnobirthing, and it kind of conjured up images of hypnosis, and then when you think of hypnosis, you think of stage hypnosis, the sensationalist kind of theatre. So it intrigued me straight away, but I'd never heard of it at all.
No, we spoke at length with Kathy about it, and when she spoke about how basically it's just giving birth the way nature intended, actually, and removing all the connotations that we have in the 21st century, then it made a lot of sense. So, you know, the more we learned about it, the more interested we became in it.
It seems so obvious when you think about it. When you know a lot about it, it seems just like the obvious thing to do. It's what's happened in history anyway. And we quickly realised that it was all going to be a bonus. It doesn't matter if things don't go to plan, because at the very least you'll just continue to have a normal birth. And if other things happen, it's a bonus. And luckily for us, we found that it was a big bonus, and everything worked really well.
At the best, the absolute ideal scenario would have been that we'd have a completely natural birth, a great pregnancy, drug-free, pain-free, you know, the absolute idyllic situation. That's what we hope to get out of it. But we always kept reminding ourselves that it was important not to put any pressure on the situation. So the best, you know, at times we thought, well, at least if we have an enjoyable pregnancy and maybe things don't go to plan, then at least we'll have had some relaxing sort of moments together. That was sort of the worst case scenario. Very easy. At times felt like we weren't doing any work. It was always just talking and reading was the main thing. And at times I kept saying to Kathy, but how will I remember all this? You know, we're getting a lot of information here, and it's all really interesting information, but I always felt like, oh, do I need to turn a switch on, and when I go into labour, and will all this I'll need to sort of remember all this? But it was the complete opposite. It was just like she was just changing the way we felt about things and the way we thought about birth. And it all just sort of went into our brains somehow, and we didn't need to turn a switch on, it just happened. So the programme itself was well structured. We should have had 6 sessions. We had 5 because we went into early labour, but Kathy was really clear about what we had to do in our own time, and we always left each session with a list of things that we should be doing in the next sort of few weeks together, and sort of the hypnotherapy that we did together and the CDs that we listened to were always really easy, and
it's all very natural and all very very intuitive, very, very relaxing.
Yeah, it
was a lovely experience with the hypnosis in particular. It was great. Like Abi said, it really didn't feel like we were doing any work. It was all very natural.
Oh yeah, definitely. We were just sat in these seats here. Kathy was just sat next to us, and we were really relaxed. And you know, we've both went straight into hypnosis very easily, very quickly. And I think it's probably because we were so relaxed at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I was a little apprehensive at first before I knew the details about it, but one of the things you do first is to read up about it. You read books, obviously, you talk at length with the hypnobirther, and you realise very quickly that it makes an awful lot of sense. I realised that it was going to be a bonus. If it worked, it was going to be fantastic. It was going to be a bonus. And then, of course, to be able to see my wife give birth and not have pain, even as a father, you do expect that your wife's going to be in pain, and it's a horrible thought. So then to see the birth and to see Abi not in pain at all and not need any pain relief of any kind, and to give birth and then immediately be alert and with it and just hugging her baby as soon as the baby comes out, very, very relaxed. It was a really wonderful thing to be able to see as the husband. The
CD was useful. It was called Affirmations, and it's basically going over and over positive reinforcement, really, reconditioning. So we listened to that every single night as we fell asleep, and at times felt, oh, is this actually going in? But it was, and we found ourselves sort of repeating sort of set phrases from it, you know, that you'd have such a natural birth. And also the hypnotherapy that Kathy did with us in the sessions was brilliant. She's a really, really good hypnotherapist. If anything, she's brilliant at that. And we quickly slipped into hypnosis very comfortably, always came out feeling really relaxed and felt, you know, that whatever she'd been talking to us about had definitely gone in.
Yeah.
Molly came 4 weeks early. We'd seen Kathy a couple of days before, and like I said, went even finished the sessions. And like I'd said before, I always wondered whether we'd have to sort of turn a switch on and say, right, we're in labour, therefore we need to start this hypnobirthing thing. But it didn't happen like that at all. It just naturally progressed, that I became more and more relaxed throughout the whole labour process. And it was so relaxing that the hospital staff told me I wasn't in labour, that I just, you know, going through some sort of urine infection which was presenting itself as false labour. And so we spent a night in hospital just being monitored when I was actually in labour, and they examined me and realised that I was 9 centimetres dilated and that my baby was coming. And that's when the hospital realised I was in labour, because I was so relaxed. I was just, the way I can describe it is that I wasn't in the room, I was somewhere else. And despite the fact that I had to be on a bed because she was so early, I didn't want that, but we were on a bed with a heart monitor on. I was just so relaxed, I was somewhere else completely. And people were coming in and talking to us, and I was just sort of giving one-word answers and signing for drinks and things. But we had music playing in the background. It was a really quiet room. People were just popping in now and then, and it happened very quickly and very easily.
Abby was so relaxed that the early hours of the morning, you were sleepy, I was tired. The hospital said that she's definitely not in labour, so I was sent home. We're only about 8 or 9 minutes door to door from the hospital, so I knew I could pop back. And the best thing was that at 4 o'clock, when, as Abby said, when they examined her, they were a bit surprised to find that she was 9 centimetres dilated, because they had no idea. That's when I came back. And then between 4 and 8 o'clock in the morning, really, really relaxed, as Abby said, nice music playing, everyone talking nice and quietly. 8 o'clock in the morning, the midwife's shifts changed, so a new midwife came in just to examine her, just out of routine because she was starting, and did a little bit of a check and sort of gasped, and I thought something was wrong immediately, and it was because she could see the head. And all of a sudden, you know, Abby's just there, really nice and relaxed, really calm, breathing deeply, almost looking as if she's asleep, to be honest. And yet she's crowning. And then 8 minutes later, the baby was born, and it was 2 contractions. There was no crying, screaming, pain, or anything.
There was nothing. I didn't make any noise throughout the whole thing. There was no screaming, no shouting. It was all the things that, you know, you traditionally believe would be the case. I was offered, despite me asking the hospital not to, I was offered pain relief, but I didn't need it. I said, I don't want it, I don't need it. I didn't use gas and air. The only assistance we had was lavender oil on a bit of tissue paper, which just sort of relaxed me even more, if anything. And yeah, it just happened so naturally, and 2 contractions and my baby came out.
And of course, Molly was really peaceful as well, because she'd not gone through any stress, had she, at all?
She hadn't heard her mum screaming.
No, so she came out, she wasn't screaming at all. She was nice and calm, nice and relaxed, breastfeeding straight away. It was lovely, really nice. Yeah,
it was brilliant. And you can't put a price on it. We've said that afterwards. We said you'd pay thousands for an experience like that, you know, just to know that your baby's coming into the world the way she's meant to come in, and that you have a completely natural birth. It's just amazing.
And as a father, of course, you would pay a lot of money to not see your wife go through any pain. So for her to be in that such a relaxed situation and give birth so naturally without any pain, it's a lovely thing.
Well, we've spoken to quite a few people since the birth, and she's only 8 weeks now, but we're, you know, shouting from the rooftops really. And I did at the time say that, you know, it's definitely the way to have babies, and it's not like it's a new radical idea. It is the natural way to have children, and I would say that everyone should do it, and that there's nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose. It's really, really
At no point are you going against any advice, or you're not changing anything to do with medical situation. It's just a completely natural way of giving birth. And you're going back to the roots of being a human. It's what happened before the last few decades when it's all become very medicalised. So if anything, it's not something new age and different in any way. It's about getting back to how it should be and how it always was for so long.
Yeah. So definitely advocate it, definitely.